to Tool Talk. I'm Dan, and I'm here with my brother James. Today we are going to be talking about boxing and celebrity boxing. So, is it good for the sport? Is it diminishing the sport? Is it um, causing not less attention to the sport, I suppose, but is it devaluing it as a sport?
Yeah, I think the question is sort of is it ruining the reputation of boxing? Over you've got all the prestigious fights over the years. You've got Frazier versus Ali. You've got Tyson versus Holyfield. Or you've got all these historic sort of boxing matches, and now you've got KSI fighting Logan Paul or Jake Paul, wherever it is, sort of thing. And is that sort of what the sport needs, or is it sort of taken away from the aspect of the entertaining side of aspect side of thing, the fact that all these people have been training for sort of their whole life sort of thing,
It's a
and now
slap in
you've
the
got
face for
yeah,
professional boxers. Because I know a couple that have, they've grinded their way through, and they will be the first people to tell you that they don't get paid lots and lots of money for the amount or the extent that they go through. And for them to sit there, go through what they do, train the way they do, and to watch people that aren't professionals fighting people like Mayweather, Ben Askren, people like that, and they're getting stupid amount of money that a lot of professional boxers probably wouldn't ever see.
yeah. Because even on the other side of the thing, not even necessarily celebrity boxing, you've got people like McGregor coming in and fighting like Mayweather because he's not obviously a boxer, he's an MMA fighter sort of thing.
Mm.
And I suppose him
But
himself has
that,
got some sort of fighting experience as such, but
yeah,
he's
that's
obviously
the
not
thing. I
professional.
don't have too much of a problem with that because it's more of a it's combat sport, isn't it?
Yeah,
So it's that they're coming in from their own sort of area. Although obviously MMA's grappling, boxing, jiu-jitsu, everything. Whereas boxing's literally obviously just boxing. So I don't have too much of a problem with that. I find that the fact that you've got influencers, so to speak, coming in earning millions of pounds, dollars, whatever currency they're fighting in, to when you've got people that have trained their whole lives and given blood, sweat, and tears for the sport, and they're
yeah.
coming in and just it's dangerous in my eyes. I don't know how long they're going to keep this going until someone gets seriously hurt. When you put someone that isn't a trained boxer in the ring with a trained boxer,
Yeah,
Mayweather isn't massive, I know, and he's like arguably the all-time great and stuff. So he obviously knows how to fight, but you look at the size of him and you're like, he isn't massive, so he wouldn't do that much damage. But he's trained to punch people.
that's
That's the
literally what he's been
difference.
trained to do for years. That's what he's been trained to do literally for years, is to
Yeah,
literally punch people in the face.
and he's got a technique that, yeah, he's not. When you put him up against, say, Logan Paul, who's going to be fighting him, I think Logan's a lot bigger than him, but and he'd probably be like, oh well, he isn't that big. I'll be fine. But he's been
Actually,
he's been training to punch people for a long time, and it's scary because someone's gonna get really hurt in my eyes at some point. Not saying it's gonna be that fight, but
no, and I think on the other side of it, obviously there was a television program in the late '90s sort of thing called Celebrity Boxing Matches, or Celebrity Boxing, or whatever it is. We're not talking about that sort of thing because it was sort of celebrity against celebrity. It was more exhibition sort of thing. It was not. It was more just made for television. Whereas, I think in this sense, it's the main people are the Paul brothers, isn't it? They're sort
mm,
of doing it, and it's all for money. You can't. They can argue what they want, that it's to try and further a boxing career, but you can't tell me that that's the main reason. It's got to be for the almighty dollar, as they say, isn't it? Really?
well, I think I'm not 100% sure on this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Logan Paul, which is the one fighting Mayweather, I believe that he's got a background in wrestling. So, and I don't mean like you know, wrestling. I mean, like all American wrestling that they do in
Yeah.
college and stuff. And I think he done really well in that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's my take on it. But to put him in a ring with a someone that's 50-0 and is a professional boxer, it could go very wrong. So I mean, if I think that he drew the first fight with KSI, who's another YouTube influencer, and
Yeah.
then he lost the second. And I think a lot of people were saying that the first fight KSI should have won anyway. So if he's losing against another influencer, I dread to think what's going to happen when he faces an actual boxer. But
Well,
that,
Mayweather's just going to toy with him, and he's just
well,
going
that's
to.
the thing, isn't it? That's another thing. Is it degrading to the sport because potentially Mayweather's sitting there going, "Well, I'm going to earn 50 million off of this fight. I'll just drag it out, throw a few punches here and there, and
Well, the thing is, if you're Mayweather, is what do you do? Like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Like, on one hand, you've got, does he tarnish his legacy by going out there and just sort of toying with this bloke for 6 rounds or whatever it is, and then just sort of winning on points, but sort of
mm,
tarnished his legacy of, as you say, being over 50 wins, no losses sort of thing?
yeah,
Or do you go out there and just absolutely blitz it and possibly cause some serious injury just to get it over and done with as quickly as possible? Um, but then it's getting a big paycheck, as you say, from it. It's not like it's going to be for peanuts. So on the other hand, would he even be allowed to have that decision, or would the promotional company say you got to drag it out a bit? There's no point you getting all this money if it's just going to be over in like 30 seconds.
well, that's what I don't get is, well, not that I don't get, but that I'm a bit dubious about is whether it's all legitimate. I'm pretty sure that they'd, make it look like that they're having a competition, but really, look, we're both earning a lot of money. Let's
Bit
just,
WWE.
yeah, just we'll have a couple of rounds of this and we'll have rounds of this. But I mean, if it is legitimate and it doesn't matter who you are or how big you are or anything like that, it does only take one punch. So can you imagine Mayweather after going 50-0 to fight Logan Paul and say Logan Paul throws this wonder punch that
Yeah,
catches him straight on the chin, knocks him clean out? What what's your career then?
well that's it. That is arguably his legacy ruined. He'll say it was just a bit of exhibition, that his career wasn't really over. I mean, he's like what, nearly 40 years old, if not 40 years old already, sort of thing. He'd argue that he's just doing this for a bit of extra spending money, because I'm not sure that Mayweather really needs the money for the fight anyway. He's just to get a bit of extra cash, buy a few more cars, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
hard life, isn't it?
yeah, but
But
it's
yeah,
it's tricky, isn't it? Because as you say, if you're Mayweather, why would you turn the fight down? Why
yeah,
would you?
free money, isn't it?
You've guaranteed some money, and as you say, the likelihood of him losing is about 95% chance of him winning.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a 5% chance of losing it. As you say, I think the only way he's going to lose it is if he gets an unlucky blow or something like
Mm.
that. I think it's very, very unlikely that Mayweather's going to lose it. But
Well, I think the other fight that's meant to be taking place, the is it Jake Paul against Ben Askren? That's going to be a bit different because Jake Paul's been he's the mouthy one, shall we say, of the two, I believe,
yeah,
and because he was the one that called out Conor McGregor and stuff like that. And it's all right doing that. And look, I get that it gets you attention, and potentially it's
it's going to get you a contract to have the fight, get a bit of extra cash.
yeah, but it's one of them's gonna. I can just see one of them getting hurt, and I think it's going to take for someone, not necessarily one of these two, but someone to get hurt before people actually look at it seriously and start thinking we should stop putting unqualified people in dangerous slash deadly situations.
Well, the thing is that you say that, but surely some of it's got to come down to the boxing board, because they're the ones giving these people the licenses to have the fights in the first place.
Yeah, but boxing seems I don't know boxing inside out, so I wouldn't take this as gospel. But from what I've seen, boxing's the most corrupt sport going. I think with all the different, uh, like all the championship belts and stuff like that, they've got so many world heavyweight champions. You kind of like which ones are relevant, which ones aren't.
Yeah,
But then there's the politics about who fights who and stuff like that. Like how long it's taken Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to finally make a match, and I just think like I say, it's a slap in the face for the people that have worked their whole life and dedicate their life to a sport to then watch people make a mockery on social media to get attention and then get millions upon millions payout. But
I
going
think
back to the Jake Paul and Ben Askren, I believe Jake Paul was saying things about Ben Askren's wife on the internet, or he was in her DMs and stuff. And like I say, that could get nasty because I mean Ben Askren was, I think he was undefeated when he went to the UFC, but he went to UFC quite late in his career and he only had a couple of matches. And
yeah.
George Masvidal knocked him out within 3 seconds or something ridiculous with a flying knee. And then he hasn't. I don't think he's fought since. And then I think he's retired from MMA. But like I say, he's a tough person. He's known more for his ground game than his stand up. So yeah, he's not a out and out boxer himself. But when it comes to taking punishment, I'm sure that he's more trained in that area than what Jake Paul is.
Yeah, I think on the other side of it, you got to look at it. Is that really the way you want the fights to be happening? Is by some YouTuber sort of slagging off your wife, sort of thing? Is that really what? Is that really what it's come down to? Is goading people
and I
on
think it's the money.
internet?
That's what
Yeah,
it comes down to. It's the money, I think. Because if someone was to do like say something about your partner or whatever, and you're a take like like Mayweather with his 50 wins or something, if there was no money involved, you'd just kind of be like, well, he's an idiot. It's you wouldn't give it the light of day, but
no,
yeah, I find it a bit. I find it scary because I think someone's going to get seriously injured at some point. Because they
yeah,
had there was this phase going around where people were just regular people could sign up for um a boxing not academy, my brain's gone dead, like training program, then they'd fight at
yeah.
the end. And when I saw that, I was kind of like, it don't really make sense to me. I just someone's going to get hurt.
It takes more than one training camp to be able to do a boxing fight.
A 6 week training camp, and you're supposedly qualified enough to get in a boxing ring.
Yeah,
And I get that people can fight that aren't boxers, don't get me wrong, but in the same aspect, I, I don't get it.
it's a whole sort of discipline, isn't it? Yeah, but from my side of the point, my side of the coin, is I wouldn't really want to put myself in that sort of situation where you could possibly suffer a serious head injury or something like that. Granted, it's for a few million quid and it changes your life and stuff like that, it changes your family's life, but at the end of the day, you're taking such a risk, man. You only sort of live once. Is that really a risk you're willing to take? Getting into the ring with,
I'd take
um,
that risk for 2 million.
you get in the ring with Mayweather and get your head kicked or
I
your
would.
head punched in.
I'd smash him. No, I'm not joking. But no, it's like I'd do it for that much, yeah. Because even if I died, my family would be set for the rest of
Probably
their
a
life.
clause in the there'd probably be a clause in the contract saying if you die, you don't get paid.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry, but no, I mean, if it's just the recreational sort of boxing in terms of, like I say, the 6 week program and that, yeah, I don't really get it myself. I'm not saying that it's wrong that other people do it. 'Cause, I play cricket and stuff, so for me, people will turn around and go, "Well, why do you play cricket and have fun?" So I suppose it's all
I
down to
think that's it.
people's
It's
preferences, and well, I say the difference is you can't get killed in cricket, but yeah, a few people have.
you can, yeah, I've seen a couple of incidents, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's a lot. Well, I don't know. I'd say it's a lot more rare, but you don't really hear of anybody dying in the boxing ring anymore, really, either. But
No, it's more the long term effects
Um,
from constant head traumas and stuff. Because I think they have, as part of their training camp, I think they have like annual brain scans and stuff like that to check everything's okay before they fight.
yeah, but yeah, I suppose as we said before, everybody's free to do whatever they want to do. So
Mm,
if they're if, from their side of the point, from their side of the view, is as well, is would you as you said before, like you're getting a massive payday, so why not do it?
yeah,
There's
yeah,
there's probably a very small chance that any of them is going to suffer a serious injury, but obviously there's always that chance if you get into a physical sport like that. Whether it's boxing, obviously there's a higher chance of it than say rugby or something like that. But there's always the chance of getting concussion in any sort of contact sport.
yeah. I
But
mean,
obviously
I've
getting
done it
punched directly to
myself
the
in
head
rugby.
pardon?
Had a concussion from rugby myself.
Yeah, well that's it. But obviously there's a higher chance of you getting concussion in a sport where you're actually getting punched in the head on purpose, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
normally the way.
but But as you say, I don't know how long the fight is, but I would imagine for it's probably about 6 rounds or something like that. But for
Yeah, I
six
can't
rounds,
imagine it's 12.
because I can't see Mayweather knocking him out inside the first round. Although it would be, I think it would be good for the sport if he knocked him out in the first round, just to show that it's
So
not just
I just feel that they can't keep putting virtually regular people. It don't matter what you do on the side as recreational activities or anything like that. You're putting someone that is untrained in with a trained fighter. So even putting someone in with Ben Askren, yeah, he's not an out and out boxer, but he's an MMA fighter that was quite successful in his career,
yeah.
and he's trained to fight, and that's to me that it's just an accident waiting to happen, and it's going to take someone to get seriously injured before
It's
they look at
like the
it
whole
properly.
like a real life Rocky story, isn't it? Like in the first film where Apollo Creed's opponent got injured, so they put Rocky
Mm.
Balboa in there. I
But
don't think
even
there's going
then,
to be a
he was a
fairy tale.
boxer. Well,
Yeah,
he was a punch
that's it.
bag, but
He was a boxer for pretty much his whole life, sort of thing. But
and it's also a
I
film.
don't think there's going to be much of a fairy tale ending at the end of this fight. That's for sure.
No, but it's gonna be interesting. But it'd be interesting to see what if there's any actual boxers that put their point across, because it just I kind of see it from, if I had trained my whole life and I was the age I am now, like near the end of my career, and I'm seeing these people get paid 50 million fighting Floyd Mayweather, and they've literally done nothing but vlogging most of their life,
Yeah,
it'd be a slap in the face.
I agree with you, sort of thing. Like you've got people that have slaved away the whole career, sort of thing, and they might have scraped a couple of 100,000 if they're lucky, sort of thing,
Mm.
for the whole boxing career, sort of thing. And you've got these people that are doubling, if not tripling, that amount of money, sort of thing, for one fight,
And what people don't
and they've sort of just
understand as
stepped
well,
in.
what people don't understand as well is the fact that, yeah, the say a boxer might earn 10, 15 grand from a fight, but probably 60 to 80% of that goes on the next training camp for their next fight. So yeah, they've made 15 grand, say, but they'll be spending another, I don't know, 7, 8 grand preparing for the next fight. So yeah, once you've paid all that, paid all your training camps, and obviously your ring attires, stuff like that, I doubt there's much that they have left after. I could be wrong, like I say. It'd be interesting to find out, but
Yeah, if there's anyone that's listening is that does boxing or has done boxing, let us know what you would think, sort of thing, if it was you that had been boxing your whole life and you just see yourself get passed over for bigger opportunity, sort of thing, and then all of a sudden these people just sort of come in and step up and jump to the front of the queue. It's sort of I think personally it makes a bit of mockery of the sport of boxing, and I'm not the one that follows boxing or like fully. I'm not like don't watch all the fights, sort of thing, but
see, I
I
lost interest.
from my point
Personally,
of view, it
sorry, carry
it
on.
sort
You're right.
as I say, it sort of ruins the reputation for me. It sort of is. It's always been sort of a gentleman's sport. Obviously, there's been a few moments where there's been a bit issues where Tyson decided he got hungry in the ring and bit
Yeah.
Evander Holyfield's ear off. But I think it's boxing's always had a bit of a reputation of a gentleman's sport. You think of all these classic fights I said earlier. You've got Ali versus Frazier, Ali versus Foreman. You've got all these classic fights going back and over the years, sort of thing. And then this sort of the celebrity boxing for me sort of diminishes the legacy a bit.
Mm. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I can't remember what I was just going to say. Um, but yeah, it's it's just my biggest thing on the whole thing is literally I think someone's going to get seriously injured, um, and until that day comes, I think they're going to carry on whoever the boxing committee is or whatever they have to do to get in or get a boxing license. It's I think that's probably money driven for them anyway. So I think that if they've got enough money, you can just buy yourself a boxing license, which once again is probably a bit of a kick in the teeth for the ones that actually had to work for it.
Yeah, I think it's possibly scary, as you said, about the risk of a serious injury happening. I think that that is always not only as I said about the legacy type thing, but I think that is the main concern is about somebody getting
Mm,
seriously injured, and it possibly either changing their life forever, sort of thing, or possibly even ending it.
yeah, because you had all the YouTuber boxing matches, didn't you? There was quite a few of them where they were put. I think they were putting events on, or when KSI fought Logan Paul, they had an undercard that was YouTubers, and I remember
Oh yeah,
seeing.
his brother fought on the undercard.
Yeah, and you watched it, and it was like I didn't. I well say I watched it. I didn't watch it. I've seen clips of them, and it looks horrendous. It looks like kids fighting in a playground, and it you just look at it and you're like, someone's gonna get hurt. It's just I don't know, but anyway. But it'd be really interesting to see and see your views and in the comments section and stuff, and if you've got any experience in the boxing industry or anything like that, please do let us know and let us know what it's like and what your views are, because it'd be really interesting to see what a actual professional or semi-professional or someone that's dedicated their life to the sport feel about it.
So yeah, I think it's as you said before, would love to get to know what other people have got to say, with their opinions about, as you said, about their careers and people dedicate their lives. Even if you're just an amateur sort of thing, you've always had the aspiration, the sort of dream to make it happen, and you've sort of spent your life doing it. Spent your life training, and there are these people that are just sort of making a mockery of your dreams. But yeah, I think you should get involved in the conversation. Let us know what you think about what we've spoken about, and obviously get involved in the discussion and the talk. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel and to the video, and also comment below if needed or if you want to. But yeah, I think that that is a pretty short video for us actually this week, but or for this episode even.
I still think, yeah, it's about 25 minutes. So yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
it's
so
shorter than normal, but it's still long
still
enough.
good. Yeah, but I think that we will say goodbye for this episode, but we look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thank you very much.